Regigigas is blessing us in Pokemon Go, coming out very soon for raid battles, which I'm very excited about. So we're gonna go over the top counters to help you guys max out in Pokemon Go. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. Regigigas is blessing us in raid battles from the 24th at 10 a.m. all the way until June 1st at 10 a.m. Hope you guys are ready for this Pokemon. It is one of the higher CP legendaries in the game, which we will break down if this Pokemon is worth our time, energy, and resources very soon. We have a lot of content to cover this week, and I hope you guys are ready for the ride. Not only is this Pokemon out, but it also comes with its shiny form, which goes from yellow shoulder pads slash overall looking things to purple, which I love that shiny purple. I love purple shinies in Pokemon Go, and the Regigigas is prime pickings, and I actually really want the 100% IV for this Pokemon because it maxes out all the way at 4,913. Yes, that is quite crazy. Regigigas is actually a normal type Pokemon with one weakness of fighting and one resistance, double resistance of ghost. And this Pokemon is going to be a 100% IV at level 20 at 2483, and then at level 25 in partly cloudy weather at 3104. This Pokemon does have moveset combinations of Hidden Power, #1, but when you are fighting against it, it will not get Hidden Power. It will only have the other quick move of Zen Headbutt. And then as far as the charge moves, it can get Giga Impact, it can get Thunder, and it can get Focus Blast, and Giga Impact does hit very hard here. But also so does Focus Blast, and so does Thunder as well. And just remember, we are going to be using fighting type Pokemon, so none of these Pokemon will be weak to any of these moves specifically, but that doesn't mean that they're going to resist any of these moves and they could still get hit hard. So according to Pokebattler, it's going to take 2.54 trainers at level 40 counters, just for the Pokemon, not the trainer level. If you have level 40 Pokemon, we'll be able to take it down with 2.54 trainers. However, if you are getting up there, maybe, just maybe, a duel will be possible at level 50 under the right situation, which is going to be cloudy weather to boost all of our fighting type moves, but it will definitely be a challenge. So let me know in the comments below if you guys are able to pull off that duo in Pokemon Go. Not sure it's possible, but hey man, I'm definitely open to see you guys try. So with all that said, now let's move into the counters, because counters are the most important part here in Pokemon Go, and the #1 counter overall is going to be Terrakion, with its moveset combination of Double Kick and Sacred Sword. So this Pokemon got a massive bump. If you want to see the best of this Pokemon, you do want to check it out over here, because this Pokemon is now the top fighting type in the game with its new double fighting moveset combination. In spot #2, we are going to have Low Kick and Sacred Sword on Keldeo. Now, Keldeo is going to be a Pokemon that I'm probably not going to recommend powering up. Maybe you can get it all the way to level 40, but getting these Pokemon that are mythicals to level 50 are extremely challenging, and something I just don't really recommend that you do. Unless, for instance, you have 100% IV, and then you guys may have to really work for it. You're going to have to dump a lot of rare candy into it. You're going to have to walk this Pokemon quite frequently, on a Poffin preferably, to get more XL candy, and so forth. So it is going to be challenging, but it can be done. In spot #3, we're going to have Shadow Machamp with Counter and Dynamic Punch, which then leads us into Shadow Blaziken in spot #4 with Counter and Focus Blast. But here is going to be the caveat right now, because do we use a Mega that is going to be most effective in fighting this Pokemon, or do we go after a Mega that's going to yield us more XL candy? Well, for me personally, I always go for the XL candy, because the XL candy is paid for, just remember. So I highly suggest you guys use your Megas to get you more XL candy, as opposed to taking this Pokemon down a little faster. But even in this situation, this Pokemon is better served if you fight with the Terrakion as opposed to this Mega Blaziken. So you already have something that's made for you here. And the two Pokemon that you can use, which are normal types, is going to be Kangaskhan, or you could also use the Mega Lopunny. Or how could you forget the Mega Pidgeot? So Mega Lopunny is actually going to be one of the most recommended Megas here, because it is going to be a fighting and a normal type combination. So you can boost all of your fighters if you have it in the party. It's not the best counter for a Mega here, but it will also boost the XL candy coming out of this Regigigas. And just remember, you do not need to have this Mega as a buddy. All you have to do is have it active. The Mega has to be active, and you yield all the bonuses here. In spot #5, we have Shadow Hariyama with Counter and Dynamic Punch, and then in spot #6, we have our first budget counter, even though it's not the most budget yet, but I do believe that there will be a Calm Day. If you guys want to see my Calm Day predictions, you can check them out up here. Is going to be Conkeldurr, coming from Timber with Counter and Dynamic Punch. Then we do have Counter and Focus Blast on Mega Alakazam. If you guys do use that one, Counter is going to be a moveset that is from Calm Day, so you will need an Elite TM in the fast form if you do not have that move on that Pokemon, but I would suggest skipping over that. We already have better Megas coming after here, which is then going to lead us to Lucario, another budget counter, but not the most budget yet, because once again, it's usually from hatching eggs. You can't get it in the wild, or you could get it from walking, but you can't catch this Pokemon in the wild. I don't know what this Pokemon's trajectory is going to be as far as if it will ever have a Calm Day or anything like that, but the moveset combination is going to be Counter and Aura Sphere. Then we have Mega Gallade, which is not out yet, Cobalion in the the next form with Double Kick as well as Sacred Sword. However, this Pokemon is a Steel type combination, so it will be weak to Focus Blast, so be cautious using this. Then we have Double Kick, Sacred Sword on the Virizion, and then finally we have our easiest budget counter in the game, which is going to be Machop with Counter and Dynamic Punch. Because this Pokemon has had Calm Days, it's been featured in events, you should have more than enough XL Candy and regular candy to power this Pokemon up. Obviously, the Shadow form is much stronger and it is in Shadow Raids right now, but this is a great alternative right now. Then we do have Psycho Cut and Psystrike on Shadow Mewtwo. Then next we do have Groudon in the Primal form with Dragon Tail and Precipice Blades, which is quite crazy here because neither of those Pokemon moves are effective against the Regigigas. And we have Counter and Dynamic Punch on the Breloom, followed by the Buzzwole with Counter and Superpower. Then we have Primal Groudon, Shadow Golurk. Not a fan of that Shadow Golurk. It does have better fighting types than it is. And in the ground type category, there are better Pokemon. But then we have another really budget counter, which is going to be Counter Dynamic Punch on the Hariyama. And then we do have a Galarian Zapdos in there. But then in 24th spot, we do have Counter and Dynamic Punch on the Toxicroak. That's way down there. Obviously, the Machamp is the easiest and best counters to use. Most of us should have some powered up if we've been in the game for a little while, which is then going to lead us into the weather conditions. So which weather conditions are we going to look for the most effective to fight this Pokemon? Number one, partly cloudy weather will boost this Regigigas all the way to level 25 to save us some Stardust with powering it up. So that's really effective. Also in the partly cloudy weather, Giga Impact will get a boost. Even in the non-boosted weather, it's still going to hit really hard. In the cloudy weather, all of our fighting types will get boosted and Focus Blast is going to get boosted. So Cobalion, watch out during that time frame. And then finally, we're going to talk about the rainy weather because rainy weather will boost the Thunder, which will make it a little bit more powerful, but we're not super worried about that in Pokemon Go. But the most important thing here is to get yourself a shiny, enjoy yourself. If you need XL Candy, make sure to use those normal type megas. You do have 3, whichever one is a mega level 3 for you is going to be the most effective. So thank you guys for being here as always. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes their support, subscription, participation to the next level. I'm going to see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.